Hey everyone, Scott or the Scott Man, and we're here to do a driving video today. Figure I'd start right here at the Atlantic Ocean, and we're going to be driving on some more, what I like to say, back roads, heading from Hirtle Beach, which is a very nice beach near Kingsburg, which is also not far from Lunenburg. And in this video, we're going to be driving all the way to the area near Lunenburg. Get to see some scenic driving along the way. Although, most of the best views are heading to the ocean, but this would be a great way to see more of the countryside. I gotta hurry past them before I'm having to wait for pedestrians to get through that one lane section. But I'm halfway through my Nova Scotia trip already. I've been here since Thursday evening, July 4th, and then heading home early Monday morning, the 8th. And of course today is Saturday. But I've had a very nice time so far. Yeah, of all the roads on our little trek today, this is going to be the narrowest. And as you can tell, we're quite high up. I'm in a big Jeep. I don't even know how they even gave me this. Because, yeah, when I was doing the rental car reservation for the Halifax airport, I normally get like a compact car, but for some reason getting an intermediate sized car was a lot cheaper than a compact car, which I have not seen that before. And not only that too, but they end up giving me a Jeep, which is like, which is very interesting because, yeah, because this Jeep is taller than me. It is under 2 meters. Or like in feet, it's got to be at least 6 feet. Somewhere around there.
Take the next left onto Kingsburg Rd.
But yeah, this Jeep even comes with a GPS, which works pretty well too. Yeah, I think it's trying to decide which way to go. Okay, traffic is clear. And yeah, apologies for the sun right now is because we're driving a little bit to the west at the moment. But yeah, the weather's been very warm here. As a matter of fact, yeah, I spent my day yesterday in downtown Halifax. And yeah, Halifax is a beautiful city. Got to check out so many cool sites yesterday. And I think it got a record high yesterday. It was like, I think it got to like 32 degrees, which is, in Fahrenheit, it's like 90, it's like 90. And that's pretty much unheard of here. And I think more inland was more around like 25 upper 70s. A lot cooler by the coast. Because yeah, my Jeep thermometer for the outside was reading 19, well, it still is reading 19 degrees Celsius. So if you watch the very end of my, oh, look at this, look at the coastline here. Well, coastline for this bay here. Either, not sure if it's a bay or a cove, or it heads out to the Atlantic Ocean. No matter what. But yeah, Nova Scotia has a lot of pretty drives. And if I read correctly, I think Cape Breton Island has some of the best Nova Scotia drives in the entire province. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to go to Cape Breton Island. on this trip. I would love to come back to Nova Scotia sometime to check that out. But I probably would want to stay out in that area. And then today before I started this driving video, I made a quick pit stop at Hirtle Beach, which there's a beautiful hiking trail that's like at least 6 kilometers long, round trip. If you walk down the beach over to Gaff Point. On a future visit, I would like to check out that trail because there's supposed to be some very beautiful scenery. But by the time I got there, after all the sightseeing I did in Lunenburg and then Peggy's Cove this morning, it was 5 o'clock and I'd be able to complete the trail before it got dark, but I don't want to eat super late dinner-wise. I almost should have packed like a picnic or something. That would have been really cool for the trail. Oh well. Nova Scotia is the 4th province I have
to turn
visited.
Right in 800 meters.
And thanks for interrupting me, Miss GPS. Okay, do I dare say something? Sure, why not? Yeah, Nova Scotia is the 4th province I have visited in Canada. Until this trip, I've only
300 meters. Turn right onto Highway 332.
Yeah, I might want to wait a second because it's gonna
take the next right onto Highway 332.
Interrupt me. This is, Rose Bay. Ooh, here we go. Look at this. This is the Nova Scotia coastline for you. Absolutely beautiful. But anyway, but before this trip, I gotta be careful. A lot of people are pulled over right now. Okay, we're good. Perfect timing too, because here comes a car. Yeah, I'm not used to driving a big Jeep like this, so it's hard to tell how wide it is, especially compared to my Honda Civic I drive back at home. So anyway, trying to get back on track here. So before Nova Scotia, the only other provinces I had visited were Ontario, because it's very close to Michigan. You can just drive across here the Blue Water Bridge or the Ambassador Bridge or the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, and then soon the Gordie Howe International Bridge, which they're going to be constructing soon, south of Detroit and Windsor. And then to Alberta, and then also to Quebec. Which I went there last year. It was a part of my Great Canadian Road Trip, which involved going to Ottawa, Montreal, Kingston, Hamilton, and Niagara Falls. But yeah, I can't believe that trip's been almost almost a year since that trip. easily have driven out here too, but it's a long drive to get to Nova Scotia from Michigan. It would take two full days. Because if I calculate correctly, it would take me a full day just to either drive to, if I were to stay completely in Canada, it'd take me a full day just to get to Montreal. Or if I was going through the US and just cutting through Ontario, it would take me a full day just to get to the Boston area. Be a really cool road trip though, but I'd have to plan a lot of time for that. So it's just as easy to fly here. Yeah, this is my first time visiting the Atlantic Ocean in the Canadian part of North America. Because previously I had seen the Atlantic from like Virginia Beach, Daytona Beach down in Florida, and also up in the Boston area in Massachusetts. Oh yeah, and I saw it a little bit too when I went to Portland, Maine. And then of course all throughout New England. Ooh, that's a pretty view. But yeah, the speed limit's 80, but like a lot of these curves you do not want to go 80 on this. Ooh, I gotta be careful here. Okay, nobody's coming. I don't think that guy was there when I was coming through here the other way. But yeah, come to think of it, I almost should have filmed this from Lunenburg to Hirtle Beach. Because although these views are absolutely fantastic, I feel like the views are even better going the other way. But this is my first time to Nova Scotia, so I don't really know any better. Although I probably won't read any comments, of course, until I'm well back from Canada. But yeah, I'm curious, what are some of your favorite drives here in Nova Scotia? Because who knows, it might give me an idea for another road trip in the future, or even another driving video. Oh, I remember this bridge. It's so beautiful going the other way. But yeah, when I was on the 103 this morning, I gotta be careful. The road's not super wide. But anyway, yeah, when I was on the 103, there are a lot of areas on that highway which made me feel like I was in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. All the different evergreens off on the road. Yeah, it was the 103, and especially on Highway 3 going toward Peggy's Cove from Halifax. That's almost another drive video I could have done, but oh well. But yeah, other than the heat that was in Halifax yesterday, the weather's been perfect so far. Lots of sunshine. There might be some thunderstorms tonight, but fortunately overnight, so that'd be perfect. So then, because tomorrow is supposed to be another nice day. Well, matter of fact, cold front's coming through tonight, so it's going to feel even cooler tomorrow and less humid too. So it'll probably feel more like how it's supposed to feel in the month of July in Nova Scotia. believe it, with how large Canada is, Canada touches 3 oceans. Ooh, cows. If Canada borders 3 oceans, we have the Atlantic Ocean, which we saw at the very beginning of the video. And if you go over to British Columbia, it borders the Pacific Ocean. Love to get out to Vancouver sometime. And then up to the north, it touches the Arctic Ocean. So it's like, yeah, you can easily see the 5 oceans, or 3 of the 5 oceans, without even leaving Canada. With, of course, the Indian and Southern Oceans being the only ones you'd have to go elsewhere. And speaking of the Indian Ocean, I'll be seeing that in about a couple months from now. Because although probably by the time this video goes up on YouTube, I probably will either be there already or possibly even have completed the trip, but I'm going to Indonesia. More specifically to Bali. So yep, this is the big reveal, although if you follow me on Instagram, I may have revealed it sooner than this. Yeah, got like these little small villages around Lunenburg. Or I mean around Nova Scotia, because we're not far from Lunenburg. As a matter of fact, when I was coming from Lunenburg, I came off Mason's Beach Road. I'm probably going to end the video in about another couple kilometers from here, just because there's not really a whole much more to see once we get on the Highway 324 to go back to the 103. From what I remember going on that highway earlier into Lunenburg. But yeah, look at the thermometer now. Oh, you can't see it, but it's warmed up tremendously. It's 27 degrees Celsius right now, or it's in the low 80s Fahrenheit. So it's gone up 8 degrees Celsius since we started this drive. Oh, we gotta cross over Highway 3 really quick. Okay, and nobody's coming. But yeah, as you can tell, it is breezy out.
Prepare to turn left in 800 meters.
Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this little coastal drive starting from the Atlantic Ocean, heading inland to just outside of Lunenburg. For more great driving videos, be sure to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure. And
in 300 meters, turn left onto Highway 324.
What she said.
Take the next left onto Highway 324.
And don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thank you for watching this driving video, and this is Scott with the Scottman signing out.